And flooding is still causing problems in Derbyshire, Leicestershire and the Severn Valley, where thousands of acres are underwater. Sorry about that. One of our bulbs has exploded. On the Burgess and McLean spy scandal a secret. Files on the two diplomats who fled to Moscow in 1951 would normally have been released under the 30-year rule. Well, they're the news headlines, and while I clear up the mess, back to David Coleman.
The news making the news, Jan. How about that? I've had that happen to me once before, but not in vision. It's hair-raising, isn't it? Frightening. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, dear, we seem to have trouble going today.
No, we don't. You can't hear me. I should not have done that, should I?
Soviet Union and the Moscow branch of the Mickey Mouse Club today held its annual general meeting. There was an embarrassing incident in London today when a man accused Prince Philip of stealing his Bobby Charlton wig.
Of the Prime case, the Prime Minister ordered an investigation by the Security Commission. And today it's been revealed that their main recommendation will be the introduction of lie detectors into this country. Good evening. In Nationwide tonight, if they can turn on the lights, I could tell you what was going to be in the programme.
Every week there's a new rumour about which lucky girl Prince Charles is in love with. Well, today I can reveal the new romance.
Good evening, and tonight on Nationwide we'll be interviewing the man from Gateshead who eats trees. Glyn Worsnip will be talking to an ambulance driver who in his spare time runs the local lifeboat, builds adventure playgrounds and is a midwife. But there's something even more remarkable about this man concerning the number of legs he has. But first, an extraordinary animal that doesn't talk, skateboard or drink out of toilets. It's a duck that does nothing.
John Titt reporting here in home, in the very place where only yesterday the man who keeps setting fire to television reporters claimed yet another victim. Where, we ask, will he strike next? Only 3 weeks ago, this wave of terror and destruction began in New Haven.
Well, obviously we're having a few...
Well, obviously we're having a few problems there with the duck that does nothing, but I'm sure we'll have a few problems sorted out as soon as we've sorted out the duck that does nothing.
Sue.
Sue.
Well, from ducks that do nothing to two men who certainly do something. Twins, doubles, lookalikes. In the studio now are two men who will tell us what it's like to suffer the pain and heartache of being identical twins. Right, now let's see if I can get it right. I've been trying to sort it out all afternoon. Brian, yes?
No, David, sorry.
Sorry, we'd have to wear badges or something. Don't you find it a problem, continually being mistaken for each other?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, I think so.
But I mean, we have a lot of laughs as well, don't we?
Oh, I think so. Very much.
There's a very, very funny thing happened. We got on a tube and we swapped tickets, and the conductor didn't even notice. It's fantastic.
It's just amazing.
Right. Well, thank you, Dave. Dave, Brian.
That's right.
Brian. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Hugh.
Well, we go from twins to twin-barreled rifles. From rifles to rifling through drawers, from drawers to shores, bores, drawers. Oh, drawers will do, actually. Let's have some film with some drawers.
I now declare the Adult Swedish Film Centre open. With me in the studio is Eamon Rogers, who eats trees.
I'm Douglas Adams.
And how many trees have you eaten so far?
None, you see. I've written a book, actually.
Oh, you've written a book about eating trees as well?
No, it's It's called How to Get Your Book Plugged on Television, and it can be bought from any good
Well,
bookshop.
that's all we've got time for because George Bennett has finally arrived.
I couldn't get a taxi, you know, full of bloody fat Arabs, and I couldn't get on the tube full of sort of 6-foot Swedes with rucksacks, you know. And then I got on a bus, and then the bloody bus was stopped by a coach full of Americans going to Madame Tussauds of all places. Bloody foreigners, I can't stand them. Sorry. Sir George, you are, of course, chairman of the London Transport Board. No, I'm chairman of the London Tourist Board. Oh, the London Tourist Board? Yes. I'm sorry, but everybody must be dying to know how a person like you could possibly get appointed to your job. They must be. I hate the bus. But I mean, but we've got to move on because I think there's an ambulance-driving lifeboatman with a penchant for midwifery and something wrong with his legs waiting for us in our Birmingham studios.
No, in fact, it's Councillor Weemley, who was in fact supposed to be with us yesterday. Well, yesterday, Mr. Weemley, we were discussing council spending, and I wanted to ask you how, in the present circumstances, your council was going to adapt to the current cuts that are coming in across the board, given that you have only last year claimed that your council could not maintain its present level of maintenance without huge increases in your budget. How do you feel? Mr. Weemley, can you hear me?
Well, that's all we have time for now, because now we can go to Bristol for news of an earlier story. I believe that there in Bristol, you have news of a duck that does nothing.
No, we've got a pheasant that roller skates and a man who sits in trees and shits on passers-by.
Yeah, that's not the person who eats trees by any chance.
No, I don't think so.
Right, well, let's try Manchester. Have you got any ducks up there?
Oh, yes, we got the ducks here. Can I just interrupt for a moment, please?
Yes.
Well, I'd just like to say hello to my Auntie Betsy. And I'd like to say hello to my brother Donald, too, who's currently serving with the Welsh Socialist Republican Army in Newport. It's just that this station's never been nationwide before, you see.
Yes, but what about this duck?
Oh, yes, well, I'll hand you over to Frank here. He's our local ambulance driver who runs the lifeboat and also delivers babies, and all with his terrible leg problem.
I've just, to give myself a change of diet, I've cooked this beautiful duck à l'orange.
So that's the actual duck, is it?
Well, it was sitting around doing nothing.
Sporran, when did you start your incredible career?
I started it as a young lad after I left school, working on the pier, and after a year or two became pier master.
Now, how many people live on the island of Gea?
As a matter of fact, I do happen to be a registrar of births, marriages and deaths in Gea, and can tell you that there's 170 persons in Gea.
What sort of a crime rate do you have on an island as small as this?
I have been special constable in Gea for 6 years now, and in these 6 years there has been no crime.
What about the other emergencies that the police can't cope with?
I am, of course, the ambulance driver as well, and the fireman, and the Coast Guard.
A question that's often asked in the Western Isles of Scotland is, are there no limits to this man's incredible versatility? Is there no end to Seamus McSporran's insatiable appetite for jobs, jobs, and more jobs? It really does seem that no task is too demanding, too complicated, or too much like hard work for this man to be able to tackle.
This is Seamus McSporran, nationwide, from the island of Gea.
Would hardly seem the kind of place, and the North Sea would hardly seem the kind of water to attract sun-seekers. Well, the British Naturalist Council searched Britain from Wick to the Isle of Wight to find a place where they could caress their bodies on a public beach. Finally, they came here to hospitable Hornsey. Last week, the council, on a vote of 8 to 3, decided to open the doors of the town to nudes. Very soon, on this very beach, in this very spot, Hornsonians will be able to witness ladies and gentlemen prancing around in the nude. And the decision to let them in has split the town in half.
I think it's objectionable.
Now, would you tell me why?
Well, because I think there's all this sex and wretched thing. More and more of it.